Okay. Welcome, everyone, to the Center for Global Justice weekly program. We've been doing these for about 20 years here in San Miguel de Allende. And today, we are very delighted to have Rosanna Alvarez, who's one of the founders of Via Organica and also of Regeneration International, right? Which is an international organization devoted to regenerative agriculture, which we're going to hear about today. So with that, I will hand the microphone to Rosanna.
Gracias. Buenas tardes y bienvenidos. Ay, está muy fuerte. Well, welcome to San Miguel. Are you living here or are you just visiting? From where? New York. Wow, it's cold still, maybe. Well, and you? Toronto. Well, I'm sure you guys are familiar with organic farming, and that's what brought you here probably. Well, my name is Rosanna Alvarez. I am born here in San Miguel de Allende from 4 generations. My grandfather was a farmer here by the Aurora. I don't know if you've been in La Aurora. We grew up here with many farms. There was no many construction. So our food was very close to us. Everything we saw growing around and going to the hills of Charco del Ingenio was like our big park, and there was a lot of native plants and some edibles that anywhere we were, you know, all the way to Colonia San Antonio, there was a bunch of agaves. So we used to consume all the aguamiel. And so I have that picture right in that image of my childhood very present. And so in 2009, I got involved in the movement of bringing back the culture of food without pesticides. It's very scary because I remember when we were in the elementary school, they used to bring a DDT for people to put in their heads for killing lice. And maybe even if you didn't have lice, they will put it to all the children. And now that I'm growing up, I find out that DDT was very toxic and it was very damaging to your brain. So how can you have your children in school if they were like having headaches and it was not easy to learn at the pace that the teachers wanted the child. And back then was like, you go to the corner if you're not listening, but they never look at these issues about pesticides. And I can see some of my family members that, I mean, they didn't finish elementary, maybe because of that cause. That was very intense about the DDT. That's one. So I became interested because I met some people from Minnesota, from Organic Consumers Association, who introduced me into this movement on understanding about soil, pesticides, and endemic plants, and original seeds. All of these things I started learning and started being aware about the situation on our seeds in Mexico. For instance, the corn. You know, we started importing GMO corns here, so more pesticides came into Mexico, like glyphosate and Roundup and other kinds of pesticides. And so you know, these corporations, they just tell people that this is a better way to grow. And we have a very corrupted government in the past. They let the corporations come in here to just do experiments, supposedly, but they spread all over the place. They started opening up like tortillerias, like mass-produced tortillas, but it was with this GMO corn. So people didn't really see the damage that it will be by using this kind of corn until you start seeing like more diabetics, more obesity. People, instead of eating 5 tortillas that were from good corn, now they are eating half a kilo from this other corn because they're very, very thin and they're not substantial. So you don't get the nutrients from this kind of tortilla from the factories. My interest started growing and growing and growing. I thought I was just going to open a little coffee shop and a little fun while my girl was in school. And the more I learned, I was like, I need to be more immersed into these subjects and let my community know through practices and to more information of what's happening in our food. And so through this movement, there is a nonprofit, it's Via Organica. I have been in all over Mexico listening to the issues of other communities like welfare in Oaxaca, in Guatemala, and Cuba. I've been in Michoacan and other parts of the United States and some in Europe with a woman, Vandana Shiva, who also speaks a lot about seed saving, seeds for life. And it happened to them too, where they bring seeds that are genetically modified and you start losing your heirloom seeds because they do genetically modified. And in India, they discovered they were finishing with all their varieties of rice and eggplant, which one of the main meals. And in Mexico, it's been the tomatoes, squash, corn. As you know, Mexico is the origin of corn. It's over 10,000 years old. They recently have found some old corn in some caves in Oaxaca, and also like a flat squash that was totally dry, but it had the little seeds. But there is 2 caves down in Oaxaca where they've been finding different, ¿cómo se dicen? Restos or varieties of things, and even agave, like chew-up agave that has been there surviving. And so I just want to tell you that for us as humans, as consumers, we have to be more aware and more conscious about what we are eating nowadays. We have the right to ask. We have the right to learn about the farm where things are coming from and what the traceability is on this food that comes to your table. And through this project, I have seen a lot of movements here in San Miguel. I think Via Organica is the first project that started this movement with education and a little store and restaurant where we promote a lot of the products from small producers, people that don't use pesticides. It doesn't matter if they don't have a certification, because for a farmer, a certification is like you sold to pay money every year, and the farmers don't make that much money. And on the other hand, the corporations, they have all the permits almost free to export, to grow, and to thrive. And for a small farmer, it's very difficult. I remember a few years ago, one person came to Via Organica and said to me, we're not selling our corn anymore like we used to. We used to come and bring it to the markets in our donkeys and a little truck, and we just went to all the little convenience stores and we download all our grain, whatever, lima, fava beans, lentils, garbanzos. And he says, but now people say to us, if you compete with United States, we buy from you. Because we are importing about 70% of grain from the United States since the free trade agreement, and it's hard to stop it now. It's really, really hard. It's not blaming president or anything, but this was an agreement long time ago. So it's a long process. So people right now are like saying, well, how come we don't get paid more for our corn and this and that? But it's not this government or last one, it's a long time ago when the free trade agreement happened with the seeds. So we are importing lentils from Canada, rice from Texas. We're importing this GMO corn from United States. And this corn supposedly is given to animals in the United States. And that's the one they use in the tortillerias here. So why would we eat it when it's generically modified, when it's proven that it affects in your body? It goes all through your liver. The glyphosate doesn't spill easy. So we are part of a chain of people that are scientists, farmers, small farmers, very down to earth, that they are more in the practice. So in Via Organica, we consider all the parts, you know, scientists, small farmers, people that don't read and write, but they know how to work really hard. And they know how to preserve their seeds. They know when the moon is ready to break an agave plant, to have the drink out of this plant. They are very knowledgeable by practice, you know, and so we cannot go against their beliefs and their culture, the way they do things. So it's been very, very inspiring to be, it's already, 17 years in 2 months that I have been working, because I love it. It's a very meaningful job for me. And I think it has been, for a lot of people, very important, because we have generated economy, like a circular economy, where through the store we buy things, but we don't bargain. We no regateamos, como se bargain, because to grow food is not very easy. And in the organic way of farming, or biodynamic, or permaculture, there is many factors to preserve your edibles. You have to have very good balanced ecosystems. You have to build soil, not just earth, but it has to be very good soil and you have to work with nature, have a control, biological, so that you invite insects to come. You don't kill them. You plant flowers. You can plant how you say the plants that smell like a mint, or herbs, calendula, marigolds. So then a lot of the insects go over there. And some of them love the lettuce, and they love the chard, and they love your greens. So they also eat part of the crop, because we don't put pesticides. And so a lot of times when people say, how come it's so expensive if you don't use pesticides? I say, no, we make our own organic pesticides, but it's natural. We use herbs, we use garlic, onion, vinegar, ¿cómo se llama? Microorganisms. We make our own compost. It's a long work to get these beautiful food free of pesticides to your table. And So I say it's not expensive. Once you eat this way, you're not gonna pay for many doctors. You're not gonna pay for many doctors. You're not gonna be sick in your stomach. You're not gonna feel tired and headaches and light headache and I'm tired every day. Immediately in 2, 3 weeks, you will see the change. You will see the energy you will get from eating like that. It's not like tomorrow, and when you buy, you become part of the projects. Never think about the price. You become part of these little clouds of beauty that people are doing all over the world. You're like, I am connected with this farm and my food. It doesn't matter if a lettuce is 35 pesos, They might make 10 from all the process. But you become married to these projects that are doing good work for the environment and your health and the ecosystems. And to me, that's like, sometimes I'm like tired of it, honestly, because workers and they don't listen and this and they, but sometimes I'm like, what else can I do for my country, for my community? But nothing else but this that fulfills me in the right there in the earth, and with the plants. And it's just, it's a great feeling to be connected with nature. As when I drive to the place, I don't know if you have been in Via Organica. Have you guys been? No? It's a restaurant and a store. It's outside of town. We used to be 11 years in Guadalupe, Colonia Guadalupe. But then we decided to put the two things together, and we're about 20 minutes outside of town. And it's much better because in that place we receive a lot of schools and the buses can park right there. So our interest is the young people and the children. What are we leaving for the children? I mean, the way we're acting in this present world, I mean, it's urgent to really care about what's happening in a few years. I mean, it's not like, it just makes me sick that when I go to a supermarket and I look around and I'm like, do I really need all this stuff? Really? And I come out and maybe with toilet paper or something. Because I go like, well, my farmer in Jalpa has the lentils. My neighbor has the beans. Across the street, I have turkeys. We have vegetables. We have eggs here. The other neighbor up in Estancia de la Canal, about 30 minutes, has my cheese. So thinking that way, what's around you, you become part of the community. If you want to live in this community, that's the way to live. Because when you go to big supermarkets, most of the money leaves the country. ¿Cómo se dice? Mass produced, is controlled by corporations. And honestly, the money doesn't stay in Mexico. But when you buy directly from people that you know, it's more like, give me my tortillas, I pay you. And then you have a conversation. You go like, where are you from? And they invite you to their house. They go, come and see where I live. So then you drive them to their house, and soon you'll be sleeping in their houses. And you learn how they live for a whole day or 3 days. People are so friendly here. They open up the doors and they want you to know what they're doing. And I love that. That's really what it just makes my heart more bigger. So I come back up from this. I remember the first time when we opened Via Organica, I was looking for tortillas because we were not making tortillas. But I didn't want to promote the factory made. So I saw this woman with her little children in the back, with the rebozo. And I said, I'm going to ask her where she comes from. And she told me, oh, it's just here, like past the bridge. And I said, can I give you a ride one of these days? I want to know how you grow, and I want to know you. I want to see what do you do in the morning. So I drove her there. She finished working around 5 in the afternoon. So I took a girl with me. I didn't go by myself. I say, I don't know how far she lives. So we went on this road on the way to the airport, to Guanajuato. And she says, just a little bit more, just a little bit more. And I go, Señora, it's getting dark. How am I going to come back? So then we go down on a very narrow road and enough space only for one car. So I get down the hill, and then there is how do you call it, un río? Like a arroyo, a river. And she said, you leave your car here, and now we're going to walk up there. It was already 6 o'clock, 1 hour. So we got there, and she says, this is where I put my corn, and this is where I grow, and this is all that stuff. I got out of there at 7. But I was with somebody. So in that moment, my heart just broke down. I was like, oh my God. She gets up at 5 in the morning. She makes the tortillas. She leaves food for her children. She leaves her children there until 7 at night that she goes back to her ranch because she has to take 2 buses. And then I say, what do you do with the leftover tortillas? Oh, I give them to my pigs because people don't want the tortillas from the day before. So I have to come every day to sell tortillas. No, I said, no, this is not right. So I said, keep selling to your people, not all of them, but just sell until 2 in the afternoon and then go back home. And I said, you're going to come to be Organica and you're going to be our tortilla supplier. And so she was making 2,500 to 3,000 pesos a week, which is more than what you get paid working 8 hours a day. And so she had her little space in the rooftop with a table. She would pack them up and put them in the refrigerator. And so she managed to do, and just like her, we have done it with many, like vegetable producers and fruit producers. I've been up in the mountains of Querétaro where we are connected with the fruit, like mangoes, pineapples, depending on what the season is. You know, we really have changed a lot of the economy on these families where you see them a little happier, you know, than not so tired. And I said to her, you know, you go home and you have to be with your children. You know, go and be with your children. So you're going to sell us this. And many people then, after a few years, we created a market. No, the first 2 years, we created a market down in the Parque Juárez, you know, the big park. We stayed there a couple years, and then we moved. Tosma started the other market by Mercado Sano. We help on the Tosma market. We move it from the park to there. And then I got out of the market thing. It's very complicated to be with a lot of people and opinions, and it was too much work. So then I said, if I want to continue with this, I better stay, leave them, and they can do it. So then other farmers came to me and say, we are on the waiting list. They don't let us go in there. And I say, well, let's have another market. So we did one in Guadalupe for 6 years, once a month. But the idea there was so that we connected the farmers with restaurants or with like the people that cook, so they can be hired to celebrate a birthday party, a wedding, first communion. So some of these people have been making good money going to parties too, with the barbacoas, the carnitas, you know. So that has created this other kind of economy on that subject. So we stayed there in Guadalupe, and then we left to the farm. And at the same time, 4 years before, we were working the farm also at the same time as the store and restaurant. And we did education on the rooftop gardening, a lot of gatherings with mind-like people where they connected like the solar system, the water system, the aquaponics, the permaculture, and all the subjects that were similar. And so I don't want to make you tired. You have any questions to hear? To hear? Any questions?
Is there, lovely talk.
Ahorita vamos. Gracias.
Lovely talk. Thank you. Is there any program that tries to label fruit organic with a little sticker label on it?
Like I say at the beginning, most farmers don't have the money to put a sticker on them.
Yes.
But right now, in the state of Mexico, in la Ciudad de Mexico, the government, because Mexico City is huge, millions of people live there. So they are starting something called biologic, not organic, but more biological.
Got it.
You're gonna start seeing this sticker that says bio, B-I-O. See, it hasn't come to the state of Guanajuato,
I see.
but they wanna work in Mexico. I don't know how many millions in Mexico City. ¿Cuántos millones de gente hay en México? 20 million in Mexico City. So they're coordinating the farmers to get into this program, which is not going to cost as much as the organic stamp. And they're coordinated with the USD and all that organic. There is a lot of certifications in Mexico. So we're hoping for that to come in this area. But meanwhile, we check the people that we buy from, and we grow most of the stuff.
Got it.
And also, you can notice the small farmers on the street. If they have a little bit of peaches, they have a little bit of plums, that means free of pesticides. But if they have all the time the same thing, it's very different. Then you question yourself there.
I see.
Like
There's
in the markets, you have everything all year round.
Yes.
And it's imported, a lot of the stuff, or it's not healthy. You can feel the difference.
Mm-hmm. There's a produce stand just in the next block going towards San Francisco Church, and they have a truck come from Querétaro. Can you assume all of that is has pesticides in it? I don't know how to tell. Or
It's more likely. If it comes a big truck.
Yes, a big truck.
Yeah, because they sell to the small people here in the market.
Yes.
Now they are the suppliers of the big market.
I see.
Before it was the small producers that will come with a little bit at a time.
I see.
So now big trucks. Maybe it can be a couple of corporations that do organic and they leave the leftover and sell it to here. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because like I say, I really don't go much to supermarkets or markets. I don't need it.
Yes.
I'm not sure. But what else can I tell you? Other question you say? No? Do you know that most of the people in Mexico, they have like their own little land, they own their little home with a little garden, and they grow a lot of their food. But to have extra money, we need to help them to create these economies. So you gotta look for those specific people. My dream is to have an event downtown, because we have, well, to bring all the people together, but with a couple subjects, like the corn. Look at this festival I just went to in Tlaxcala. Have you been in Tlaxcala? It's outside of Mexico City. is they believe that the corn was born in one of these little towns of this place, and you should see how united they are, preserving their corn. You see people 93 years old, 95, 85, the people that are the protectors and of the corn, and they take it very, very serious. There is a type of corn that is like a burgundy corn, like this one here, this one. And they found that also in Peru. And so Peru is fighting and saying that that's their corn. And they say, no, it's Mexican. Peru is potatoes, lots of variety of beautiful potatoes. And they make a drink called, ¿cómo se llama la bebida que hacen en Perú? La chicha? I think it's called chicha. It's a red drink that is made out of that corn, and it tastes like Jamaica. But they use the middle part too, this thing, how you call this? El medio esto. And it turns into blood red color, and it's a very healthy drink. And they make it in Tlaxcala. I just came, this festival is happening from last Saturday to the next week. So if you have time to go, it's fantastic. Besides the festival, the towns are so beautiful and so clean. And you can see the people, I mean, like they just put all their love into what they're doing. And that's a community of 7,000 people. And there is other little communities that protect the agaves and the embroidery. Like this lady, she got she does this type of embroidery that they give them a recognition with a big painting while I was there on her name, because she's 93 years old and she was present, telling everybody to please get the kids in the soil and to get them doing some work, you know, since they're little, and get them used to protecting their culture and their language and their costumes. So this was a very, very moving event. This other man, he had problems with Monsanto because he's been defending the corn for a long time. And Monsanto, they used to tell him, you better be quiet. And he said it right there. I have I recorded him where he's like, I don't care if they kill me. If they kill me, I'm doing something for my town, whatever. But this part of Mexico is where they preserve most of the varieties of corn. I believe there is over 60 varieties, but Mexico has, ¿cuántas has más o menos? 53? 53 varieties or more, ¿no? ¿Más? ¿Como 60 o...?
Mucha diversidad en México. Tan solo aquí en San Miguel la gente rescata sus maíces chiquititos, que son maíces de 90 días por la cantidad de lluvia que reciben, ¿no? Como
Sí.
ejemplo.
Well, Azucena is one of my colleagues. She came to be Organica after graduating to be to do her practice, and she stays since 2010 or 11. So she's been with us, and she's gonna share a little bit with you. I would like Azucena, because she's an agronomist. And like she's saying, here in San Miguel, they preserve a variety of corn that is this little corn that has a lot of weight. And it's like native, and they protect it here, because a lot of times they can be big corns, but they don't have substance. And this little corn gives you weight. It's like the one we are importing, it has no weight. It's hollow, but it's like this big. So, and it's not good for you anyway. But yes.
If you shop at the Mercado Sano on Saturdays, are those vegetables organic?
All those vegetables, we have a booth there. It's called Via Organica. For sure, our vegetables are. I don't know about everything else. But you have the right to ask, and you can visit the farms if you want to. You can say, I would love to see your farm, because a lot of people can buy from other, I don't know where, but there is, for sure, I know a guy that has big squash and pecans, they are organic. Another girl that has tomatoes, Beatriz, I know because Global Justice worked with them a long time for education with Yolanda, and they were giving a lot of education on organic farming. But I haven't been there in a long time. I'm more in the farm. And my girls come and put a booth there in the booth, but you have the right to ask. Totally, the farms have to be open to the public. It's not like a Monsanto, like they have a fence all over the place and prohibit and take it. No, in an organic farm, you can come in. I mean, there is just like no dogs or we have a dog area, not near the vegetables. And yeah, I would suggest you always ask, even in the restaurants. You should say, I want my eggs organic. Do you have them? And this way you are helping a producer, so the restaurants will buy from us. But it's so hard to sell to restaurants. I mean, we sell like eggs like this for 7 pesos, but they can sell a dish for 150 pesos. But they say like, oh, it doesn't go with our numbers or whatever. And it's been very difficult. I had 3,000 teníamos 2,000 gallinas, ¿verdad? Here are our chickens here. And this is the system we get. Well, Asu will talk to you in this part because I want her to talk about the farm. She's more familiar with how they do things there. And I want to thank you so much for being here. And I know that the curiosity brought you here today, and I just love it. I love to see people want to, whatever it's really nice to have you here. And Azucena, it's a girl, a mother of 1 kid, and she's been in Via Organica for 16 years. And she's the head of the farm. She's the one that takes all the groups. She will talk to you about how we work the farm. Like I don't know how much time we have, and I don't want to get you bored either, but Azucena, muchas gracias. Thank you so much. Gracias.
De manera breve, pues vamos a mostrar. De manera breve vamos a ver las imágenes del rancho. Es la granja regenerativa, el modelo de gallinas en libre pastoreo. Y las vamos a pasar, si quieres, la que sigue. Y Rosana me la resume.
We're gonna just watch a few pictures of the farm. This is a regenerative farm where we combine chickens, animals. We combine plants, edible trees like olives, mulberries, and then we leave spaces in between for our corn that we plant on the season of rain. Like we don't water, because we don't have much water over there either.
Y en la zona de banco de semillas tenemos una colección de más de 150 variedades de semillas rescatadas desde el 2010, que es trabajo con chicos de la comunidad.
We have 150 plus seed saving bank. We have a little home, and they've been worked by people from the community. Our project hires people from around the area, so they don't have to like go too far away to work, and also they can learn at the same time. And it's not a cooperative, it's a non-profit. We buy directly from the producer. It's like in a cooperative, everybody works, but in this case, the people get a salary because it's very poor communities. And they cannot afford to like just spend the day working with no paying. But the project is used as a school also, where they learn everything from seed saving, soil, reforestation, reproduction of plants.
El espacio ha funcionado como un rancho escuelita interactivo y en las áreas son estas, ¿no? El jardín de germinación con una variedad grande de cultivos. Y si vemos la que sigue, vamos a trabajo también del suelo, y es muy importante que el espacio Bioorgánica recibe al año aproximadamente de 1,000 a 1,500 estudiantes de diferentes escuelas.
Like I say, they are making soil right there, different types of soil and lixiviados, like the liquid, ¿cómo se llama líquido? Fertilized liquid fertilizer. And we receive a year about 1,500 students that are coming out of school, graduates, to do their studies there. And we give them room and board. I mean, they food and they work and they help us too, like they created a seed bank with the help of Azucena. These, yeah, these are 30 millions of waters we collect a year. And these are the areas where you can see the regeneration. If we have to put a picture of the old times, how it was before, una foto de eso. But we have solar panels. Somebody helped us, contributed, gave us money to put solar panels. And there's no electricity, therefore we try to use the least possible impact. We collect water from all the property. 80% de la producción se mantiene de agua de lluvia. 80% of the production is by water collection, rainwater.
Y la que sigue es un ejemplo de las escuelas que nos visitan, escuelas locales, escuelas rurales que tenemos en las comunidades, vienen con sus familias a aprender, escuelas universitarias y jóvenes que se forman o se capacitan por un periodo de 4 a 6 meses. Es la actividad que hacemos constantemente.
Well, this is a continuously education center where we receive all kinds of people, farmers, young people, kids that are in vacation, they come and work a little bit. And this is how you can see that are the variety of people, and it tells you more or less the numbers that we have received.
Y la importancia es que los pequeños y los jóvenes sembramos la semillita de cuidado del medio ambiente, de las semillas, de la tierra, del buen comer, para que ellos tienen esa curiosidad por ser guardianes de su espacio y de su territorio. Es como muy importante que ellos, cuando llegan al rancho, es como si estuvieran caminando en un libro que está vivo y que se toca y que se huele, y es una experiencia diferente.
It's a very important to have the children with adults. This is when they come to the farm, it's like a book where they are really smelling, touching, seeing the bugs, and to teach them not to be afraid and that they grow with it as a natural experience. Not like when they get older, they will be like, oh, I didn't know you couldn't kill this ladybug or something like that. You know, they learn to respect what's in the area.
Y el proyecto que tiene mucha relevancia ahorita es el proyecto del billón de agaves, que es una propuesta donde invitamos al maguey como una planta potencial para recuperar los suelos, el agua y los paisajes productivos. Entonces el maguey, además de que es una planta ancestral, ahorita lo estamos volviendo a ver con esos ojos de una planta muy eficiente para reducir emisiones de CO2 y producir cantidades de biomasa.
In the other hand, we are part of the Billion Agave project, which is a project that considers the agave plant as a plant that can regenerate soil. They capture CO2, it cleans the air. And it's a plant that has not been talked about too long, and it has many, many benefits. We use it for silo for the animals in a fermented way. It ferments for 30 days, and then you can feed it to the animal, and it's easier to digest. It's like a sauerkraut. You know how they tell you, take probiotics, and this is the same with animals. So we save it, but it can stay in the big packets for 3 years. So in case you have a drought, no alfalfa, no this, you have this other option together with maybe mesquite and other things that you can mix it with. And so these plants we reproduce and we reforest in other communities too. We don't just work in the Organica. We go to other places like Doña Juana, another community. ¿Cuántos se plantaron en Doña Juana? 20,000. Another en Cañada fueron another 8,000 en Cañada de la Virgen. And other places towards Querétaro, Reguiletes, por ejemplo, ¿no? Sosnávar, El Varar, sí. And also, are you familiar with the agave plant? Also, the agave plant has a fiber that they use it to make rope, like sisal. You know, and they make purses, they make hats, they make shoes, they used to make clothing. And that was our main plant in the old times before the elastic and the polyester and importing all kinds of things. That's how people used to dress, and the colors were just like creamy color or off-white, you know. And this is where they planted from the seed, the agaves, right here. Now the plant has to be 10 years old to get it to it's a long process to get the juice out. They break the middle, scrape it, and slowly it drips this sweet water. I recommend it to you. It's called aguamiel, honey water. But you have to scrape it 2 times a day. If you don't do it, it seals back and you lose 10 years of that. So the other thing is that they use the pencas, when it's done, they use it for the fiber, for construction, for bricks, I'm starting to see more of this. The more we learn about it, you see more things that come out of the plant. And this is our little restaurant where the people that work there are from the area. There is Oralia and Mari. These are our neighbors. And we are promoting most of the Mexican food. Like you can find soups, menudo. I don't know if you're familiar of menudo, where the feet of the beef. We do burgers, lamb burgers. We have vegetarian, and we have beef burgers, but also enchiladas and salads and soups and really good desserts and beer. Gracias. ¿Ya verdad? Well, sí. This is a short talk, but if you would like to join us, I mean, you can take a picture of our information and get in our website. And no está el de Organic Consumers, ¿verdad? Y ahí sale o. And also you can put check Regeneration International or Organic Consumers Association, who are the umbrella of this project, and it's a nonprofit, and you can take a flyer and a couple eggs if you like, take them home to eat them tomorrow. And I want to thank you, Liz, for inviting us over, and hope to be here again. And I really enjoy being outside of the farm to be here with you guys. Y muchas gracias. Gracias.
And thank you, Rosanna, for being with us in this wonderful presentation.